Hello, all you Gaias. I'm Dr. Melanie Carlone, a somatic physical therapist and a lifelong explorer of all things whole health and whole wellness related. What if the reason your New Year goals don't stick isn't a lack of discipline, or even that you got the intent right, but actually that your nervous system doesn't feel safe enough, resourced enough to actually change? In this video, we're going to talk about why most New Year, New You kind of efforts fall apart by February. And it's not because you're broken. It's not because change doesn't want to happen within you. It's that it doesn't start in the mind. It starts in the body. This is about having a real new beginning. Not the kind of beginning that puts on more pressure and performance, but one that actually starts by welcoming and really calling in and seeing the you who's already there, hidden underneath the stress, under the shutdown, under the self-doubt, because that version of you hasn't disappeared. It's just been living under a lot of strain that we're literally biologically not designed to hold. So today, let's look at how you can work with your nervous system, knowing how it works, not against it. So the nervous system can soften to support you in reconnecting with the highest, most vibrant part of you, that part that you really want to make resolutions about and actually have them land. So in a few minutes, I'll guide you through a short somatic practice to help the body actually register and lean into and hold on to a new beginning. But let's start with what it actually means. Like, why does this happen? What happens this time of year? You set a goal, you get motivated, we make plans, we tell ourselves this time it's going to be different. And maybe for a few days it is, right? Gyms are full, yoga classes are wall to wall, but then life hits and stress hits. One way or another, work ramps up, family obligations return, sleep is disturbed or gets short, and suddenly you're slipping back into old patterns that you vowed to change, even when the desire to change is real. So what's happening? Well, most of us try to change behaviors, and this includes movement and pain behaviors that the body's been holding on to. We try to change the behavior or the movement without addressing the underlying state that it's lying in, it's living in. And that state is your nervous system web. And if the nervous system doesn't feel safe, no amount of willpower or planning can create lasting change. It doesn't work like that. The body is primitive. It'll default back to survival responses. Old movements that are familiar and that seem to avoid the pain. Pain patterns of behavior that when you get triggered, you move away from them. And it's not because those things serve you, it's because they're familiar. They made sense when you made the decision. They were actually brilliant when you made the decision to move away from the broken part of your body or trauma that you had that required a strategy to get away. But here's the part most people never hear. We don't really understand those nervous system states. Your autonomic nervous system, kind of like automatic, your underlying foundational nervous system has a few primary modes, okay? The sympathetic state amps us up and it energizes us for action, either fight, movement towards something, or flight, movement away, or freezing. The fight mode often activates tension along the backside of the body. It pulls you into readiness and is often associated with anger, irritation, frustration, along with that tension. An overarched spine, shoulders pulled back, chronic bracing. This is kind of where we're pushing and striving, fixing and urgency all live. Now, flight mode tends to activate more in the front of the body. Fear, anxiety, panic, worry hold in. The back of the body's still going, but the tension tends to pull inward. Tension around the solar plexus, the belly kind of collapsed or not strong. The head is forward, the shoulders are rounded. And then there's a freeze response, which is a little bit further than that. That's when the sympathetic system hasn't been able to manage the stress that it's been under, and often this is years ago for many of us. And shutdown starts to happen when the system has felt or is feeling now overwhelmed or trapped. So this lives on in the tissues as areas of numbness or kind of dissociation, helplessness, a sense that nothing's really going to work out, hopelessness. Many people live here without realizing what it actually is. Then there's the parasympathetic, the regulated state. This is the state we go into when the nervous system is ready to respond with engagement, digestion, rest, restore, and relax, repair, learning, curiosity, and openness live here. This state can be cultivated with awareness and practice, and that's what we're doing here. So let me just show you this little thing. I don't expect you to read all this, but it helps to see that when you're in a parasympathetic response, you're in a social engagement, the anterior part of your vagus system is in action. Things are good. You're feeling safe. You're aware of your surroundings. That's this part. But when fight or flight triggers come up that bring you here, you're definitely moving into sympathetic responses. And if those are not effective and you can't deal with the triggers that are being presented to you, that's when you go into a dorsal vagal response, and that part of the nervous system that has you freeze or fawn. And that's up here. So what these practices we're doing in this channel and exploring here is how do we get back here? And the interesting thing is that a lot of these practices are kind of like biological hacks. There are ways that short-term survival of the sympathetic fight or flight system, or conserving energy and limiting any input in the freeze state. Ways that you can get through that and come back to the regulated, parasympathetic, I'm safe state. That's where the body integrates new habits and identities and ways of being. That's the place where sustainable transformation can actually happen. Trying harder, that voice inside that's kind of beating yourself up, actually makes things worse because it upregulates even more that you're not disciplined. I should be able to do this. But what if the problem isn't discipline at all? What if your nervous system, when you look at it, has actually been living in a constant state of stress? Emotional stress, relational stress, environmental stress is actually huge. Then the nervous system simply doing what all living systems do under pressure. They protect, they conserve your energy, they avoid unfamiliar changes. It's not a flaw, it's actually brilliant, it's intelligence. And you're not failing. Your nervous system is literally telling you, I have a need for safety and I'm going to do whatever I can in my way to get it. And when you provide the input so that safety begins to build, energy and capacity often return naturally without force. You just wake up feeling better. You have more of that expansive feeling in your body. You're able to attend to things from a calm place. And that's what brings us to the most important shift of all. Before you go reinventing your whole life this January, February, try this instead. Let's actually do practices that reinforce the body's capacity to reconnect with itself, regulate the nervous system and give it resources, and give you an opportunity to remember who you are and what matters to you beneath all the stress. This is what I call return before the reset, because you don't need to become a new you. You only need to come home to the true what's inside you, and that version is already there. So we're just clearing the internal noise, the pressure, the urgency, the self-judgment that covers it up. So let's give your body a way to actually feel this shift. Let's do a short somatic practice together. You can do this standing, seated, lying down if you can. Feels pretty good. Take a slow breath in through your nose and exhale through the mouth. Do it again, and this time as you exhale, let there be a soft hum or a sigh. Activate the vagus nerve in the back of the throat. Maybe again, and this time hum a little. So you exhale, hum, and let your shoulders soften. Now, bring your hands up to the back of your head. Feel safe, close your eyes or look them down, and keeping your head forward, slowly move your eyes to one side. So my head stays forward and my eyes are to the side. If this bothers your shoulders at all, to bring them up, just have your hand on your heart and your belly, but let your eyes come to the side. No forcing, just hold them there and pay attention. Notice. Now, as you're holding your eyes gently to one side, breathe into your lower back ribs. What does that mean? Feel the breath as you breathe in expand backwards and outward behind you. Let your awareness be behind you, where your awareness doesn't go when you're vigilant in front of you for danger. Bring it around behind you. You may notice now, with your eyes to the side, breathing in the low back ribs, your body begins to shift. There's a calm, sometimes just subtle, but sometimes a lot. And as you're there breathing and the body's more receptive, say to yourself, I am whole. I'm rewiring old patterns. I'm returning to the full whole self I know I am. And let those words land in your body. Not perfectly, there's no right way to do it. Just honestly feel it. I am whole. I'm rewiring old patterns. I'm returning to my whole vibrant self. And even if only part of you believes it, that's enough. Just stay there. A few more breaths in the back ribs, eyes to the side. You can shift them to the other side if you want. Feel the ribs expanding in the back and softening. Let your jaw loosen. I'm whole. I'm rewiring old patterns. I'm returning to my whole vibrant self. Register it. Feel it. This is an anchor point. Feel the feeling and know you can return here. You can return here when life feels hard, when you feel triggered. I encourage you to do it frequently. Whenever you want to reconnect, you've been stimulated to know you're out of balance, or as a practice, connecting with the part of you that already knows how to heal. Because honestly, the world doesn't need a new you. You don't need a new you. You need a regulated you, and to remove the obstacles to your own vibrancy. Resource yourself, the part of you that remembers what you're here to do. Softening. Keep resetting your nervous system over and again, not just for a season. And in that space, begin to anchor in the things that you want to see in your life. Call them in. Call them in a positive mode. I'm my perfect weight. I sleep deeply and fully. I let irritation and struggle roll off my back. All of those things, breathe it. We'll keep exploring these practices together, slowly, safely, and most of all, with real compassion. Thank you. Subscribe for more tools, rituals, nervous system informed guidance. If today's practice helped, let me know. I love to hear how you're entering this new space in you. Let's reset and return together. Thanks a lot, you guys. See you next time.